Hi, this is Parvathi Kashyap, clinical psychologist from QNRI Hospital, Seethamadara, Visakhapatnam. Because this is a general topic, I said. So, first of all, let me give you an example. We'll start with an example. Sometimes the mobile hangs. I want to download, it's not possible. And I can't install some app from the Play Store. The apps don't open. Why? It's if I ask, they say maybe the space is running out. It is actually the space is running out. That's why there is a hanging in the mobile. So what to do then? When the space is running short, we have to see how much of percentage of the space is available. From the morning I saw my mobile was running short of the space, and I was having only 5%, 95% of the space is still missing. I have used up all the 95% of the space. Then what is the solution to this? It's so clear. People say, okay, you clear up what is in the memory, you clear up the apps. So I go to the cleaning up process. Then first of all, I find out where the space is occupied. Space is occupied maybe in the big files, maybe in the small files, maybe in the photos, maybe in the videos, maybe in the voice messages and others. So easy it is. What we have to do is just you have to put the clear button over there and then clear up all the apps which you don't want, and then the space is available. But generally what we do when we have to clear up, first we go to the WhatsApp. In the WhatsApp we see what are the messages, what are the photographs, what are the images, and what are the videos. We clear them. Then again go back and see if my app is installing or not from the Play Store. It is installing because the space is created. Why am I telling you all this? This is just a small example to understand how the brain works. In the brain also, we have, let us suppose 100% is there. How we are using the brain is very important. In that, just like your mobile, the space in the mobile, the brain also has 100% space, let us suppose. So, I find I'm not able to remember, I'm not able to interact, I'm not able to register things. You know why? It's just like the mobile there. You're not able to interact because maybe you're tired. What happened? Too many things in my brain. That's why I'm not able to interact. Fine. So what could be the major problems with you? Suppose I ask you, what are the major problems in you that is actually getting stuck up in your brain and you're not getting the space in your brain? It could be, what can I tell you? And then you use 4 problems, common problems. First problem you tell is, what is your problem? No, I am feeling depressed. That is the major problem. So what could be the other problem? What is the other problem? The other problem would be anxiety. Okay. And what could be the third problem? It may be something related to the unrelated problems, unrelated issues, unrelated anything which is not your issue, but still you are worrying about it. And the fourth one is self-created stress. What do you understand by depression? Actually, the 2 major files that are occupying the space in your brain are your anxiety and depression. Everybody, I ask you, who is having anxiety and depression, you'll all raise your hands, because there is no person without an anxiety or a depression. Suppose you don't raise your hand or say, I don't have anxiety and depression, your brain is not alert. Fine. So what is depression? Depression means you are thinking or feeling or acting on the basis of what has happened in the past. like a death of a person. It is a major depression. Nowadays you find in COVID time so many people expired, so that depression is there. And anxiety. What is anxiety? Anxiety means thinking about the future. So these two are the major issues actually that is occupying major portion of our brain. That means 40% of the brain is occupied by depression and 40% of the brain is occupied by anxiety. How? Depression because of a major issue like a death, or it may be job is lost, or any other issue that you can't remove it because it is a time that can only heal that particular sore. Fine. Then what about anxiety? Anxiety means thinking about the future. You may say, why do you want to think into the future? When it comes, we'll see. How can you do that? Suppose an old man, he has to get his daughter married. Will he be anxious or not? He has to think about the funds, from where he has to manage, how he has to make arrangements for the marriage. That is all anxiety. So these things cannot be avoided. So the brain occupies 80% of the space in depression and anxiety that you can't touch it. Now how much portion is left over? We have 20% of the space. In that 20% of the space also, some amount of space is occupied by unrelated issues. It's not your issue. Like you are seeing a serial. Then the serial abruptly ends over there and says, let us see in the coming week what is happening to this person. Will he die or will he save himself? You have to think about the whole of it for the whole week. You start discussing with people. So your brain is occupied by 8% of it is occupied by this unrelated activities or issues which you could have avoided, but you are thinking on it. Now 88% of it is over. Now coming to the next one, self-created stress. What is the self-created stress? That means the stress that has come out of your own creation. That's not a stress, but you created circumstances due to which the stress has come. For example, you want to do some work, you have an inspection in future on Monday and today is Sunday, you have to get the work done. So you think, okay fine, the whole of the Sunday is there, we'll somehow manage and I'll prepare for the Monday's inspection. Suddenly the guests come to your house and then you're busy with them and you think, okay fine, I'll get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I'll somehow work on it, I'll get prepared for the inspection. But what happens? By the time the guests go and you lie down and you get up in the morning, it's just half an hour left for you to attend the inspection. Can you manage it? And within that half an hour, you have to work the 24 hours work in that half an hour. Is it possible? That is what you have invited. What we call it? A procrastination. Procrastination means the postponement. Had you not postponed, had you completed the work before the guests could come, or imagine that something would happen, so let me do it well in advance, I don't think you won't have this type of stress. This type of stress is a common one and it occupies 8% of your brain. 100 minus 96 is 4%. So 4% is for you, which you have to think about utilizing it for your daily activities, or you're going to the office or concentrating on so many things. That means just like your mobile. Your mobile also occupied unnecessarily with the big files and the small files and the videos and voice messages and all. This is also occupied with this. And again, I can tell you, whatever you have to do, you have to work with this unrelated issues and self-created stress. These two, if you can reduce, I think you will have some space there. 8 and 8, 16 plus 4, 20% maximum you can use. That's fine. You won't get stuck up here. Your computer will not get hanged. Your mobile will not get hanged. You can upload anything. You can download anything into that memory. Great. So, just like the mobile, you can't just press a button and say, I'll remove it. You need a process to do. What you have to do is, for these unrelated issues, you just analyze how much portion can I keep it in my mind. If it is not necessary, you postpone the thinking. Then you will have that space there. Then the most important one is your self-created stress, I said. What is happening to you? I am getting stress. I can't do the work. What is that stress? Stress is nothing but the self-created stress. It is just because of your procrastination. That means you are postponing, you are not able to, I can put a correct word for that. It's called time management. If you don't manage your time properly, you will get this type of stress. Then what I can do? How can I manage with this? How can I try to end up with this? You have to train in 4 ways. How will you train? When you train all these 4 things, I think you will not have a self-created stress to that extent, and definitely you can save at least out of 8%, you can save at least 7% of the space, and then you can add it to your 4% available and it becomes 12%, and that is how you can efficiently work for your daily things, routine work or whatever it may be, important things. So, how will you train your body? I said first one is training your body. How will you train your body so that you can cope up with the stress? Get up in the morning, go for exercises. Exercises means what? Running, jogging, swimming, cycling, all these activities of the body. That is called your body, what is that called? Training of the body. In that also you will feel relaxed and the space is there because the stress point will not come over there. Second one is mind. How will you train your mind? Yes, this is God. Nowadays people are coming from abroad also to get the training done from our gurus on training the mind. That is through yoga and pranayama. Beautiful it is. It will simply tell you how to get your focus out from other things and put your focus just on one thing, and you will know how to control yourself. Just like if you are cycling, if you have got a balance over the cycle, you will not fall. In the same way, you can balance your mind provided you train your mind with your yoga and pranayama. The third one is the word. Word means communication skills. Communication skills doesn't mean that you can speak fluently. It means you have to speak the right word at the right time in order to put in a proper impact on the other person so that that person will be influenced and he can do whatever you want him to do. That is called the communication. So from where you are going to get it, how are you going to put the right what is that called? Training the word. You can train your word provided you listen to many lectures, or you can read the books, and you can get a lot of knowledge from elsewhere. And if you have knowledge, you will be having the free flow of the words, and you can easily present yourself and you will get the proper impact from the other person. So training your word. Last but not the least, that is called training the thought process. This is very important. Whenever you get a problem, you should know how to deal with the problem, how to tackle with the problem. So first thing you have to do in the thought process is, when you get an information, suppose you get an information that one of your closest friend died. Don't get panicked. First of all, find out whether it is true or not. You go for a reasoning. It is true or not. No, that person is on the deathbed, so we got the information. That's fine. That's called the reasoning. Second one is remembering. I said somebody expired. So you have to find out whether it is true or not. You came to know he didn't expire, he is on the deathbed. Fine. After that, you have to think about get the information from various sources, you start remembering it, and then you store it with you. Then the third point is, you have to imagine on how to cope up with this situation. That is the next part. I told you, training of your thought process. In the thought process, the first one I said was about the reasoning. The second one is remembering. The third one is imagining. You imagine. Suppose it happens like that, how will I cope up? If it happens like this, how will I do it? You find out the alternatives. Last one is about the judging. So after that, what you thought, is it feasible for this particular situation or not? You find it out, and then you start with the whole of the coping up of the process. And once you are prepared with the situation, you will not have a stress. You understand by this now? So here you will be having all the space of 8% and again an 8% added to your 4%. That means 20% of the space is there. So you will have enough space to nicely work with the situations. Thank you very much, and try to cope up with your stress. That is in your hand. Of course, we do understand that depression and anxiety, you cannot check them, but these two things are in your hand to cope up with your unrelated issues, the thought about your unrelated issues and self-created stress. This you could reduce so that you can be a happy person. If you are away from this stress, you will not have BP, you will not have sugar, your body will be toned and you will be conditioned for living long years and helping the people out in coping up with the stress through your experiences to them. Have a great day.